Hi everybody, Courtney here. I thought I would come in and give you all a little financial update and just talk about like our early retirement plans. So just an honest update about how things are going. So we have about a third of our money invested in our farm here with an Airbnb on it, and we have a third of our money invested in the market through Vanguard. We do index funds investing. We have three. We have a national, international, and a bond fund. And then we have a third of our finances, our net worth, in CDs and cash or checking accounts, savings accounts. And so my husband is 66. He'll be 67 next April, full retirement age in December of this year for Social Security. And that means you can draw your Social Security without penalty for working. And then I am 53 and a half, or I'm almost 54 in a couple of months. And I cannot access my retirement funds without taking a 72T, which is something I won't get into, but it's a way to access your retirement funds. But there's a lot of little hiccups with that if you do that, and it's something you probably don't want to do until you're a little older. If you do, it's like you can take the same amount every year for 5 years until you're 59 and a half, or 5 years, but you have to take the same amount even if the market's down. So that's where we are with what we have. Our business the past 2 years has been booming, and in our business, which is roofing, it's very much based on the weather and storm activity and things like that. And we have had a very dry year. As a matter of fact, we need rain so bad. It's so crunchy out here that my husband cannot bush hog some of the weeds and stuff because I fear, that's mowing basically, that the tractor will hit a rock and catch the land on fire. So cause a spark. So it's been pretty slow. Like, we're making enough money just to pay our bills, but we're comfortable. We don't have any debt or anything like that. But we had hoped to reach a certain goal by this year to be able to retire and have a certain amount of money to live on, which that amount of money got higher with inflation. We thought we would need about $53,000 a year to live on. And with inflation, we're looking more at $72,000 because our property taxes doubled, our health expenses doubled. They should go down when we retire. Our insurance has gone through the roof, and just a lot of things are more expensive now. Cars are more expensive. So anyway, I'm kind of looking at it like this. Come June of next year, which is 10 months from now, or July 1st, we're going to retire regardless. My husband can then take Social Security, and he already gets his pension, which is like $36,000 a year, 34 to 36, kind of depends on what Social Security will be after we do taxes. This year, they readjust it every year. So in about June, you'll get a new report. And there's so many beautiful deer out here, y'all. It's just, let me see if I can pick the phone up and show you. I don't know if you could see it. So this is our farm. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see behind me, but directly behind me, I don't doubt you can see it, there's deer right in there. So anyway, it's been kind of depressing because, retiring with our goal would mean that we would have about 74 to 84,000, which would allow us to do a lot of travel. And our family lives about, several thousand miles away. So going to see my grandkids and stuff like that is not going to be, we're not going to be able to do that as much. And I was hoping to go out there and stay in a short-term rental for, periods of time, like a couple of months or a month at a time or weeks at a time, to be more involved in their daily life. And so the way we're looking at it right now is, if we had to retire today, we would have to make some adjustments to our lifestyle, but we would be okay. We'd be comfortable, but we wouldn't be fancy. We're not fancy now. We don't have a big house. Our house is like 1,779 square feet. We do own a lot of land. And we drive average cars. We always drive used cars. And, we help our family a lot with certain things. It's not to the point that it's detrimental, but I would say our giving budget goes to family. Instead of giving to like a nonprofit, which we do also do that some, the soup kitchen, especially here in our town, I give to that several times a year. I donate to the, there's like a place where you can donate your clothes and things like that to help the homeless. But then mostly we help our family who are struggling financially. So I've had to kind of tighten up the reins on that. I'd love to say I have, but honestly, this month it's been pretty rough. So yeah, I told my husband, we're just kind of kicking the can down the road. Every month we work. I've been watching our spending. I still do savings out of that. It's not been as much. We're not able to put as much into our retirement accounts this year. We're not able to save as much as I would like to save, but we're going to have interest building. So even if we retire next year, which we will regardless, I just don't know where we're going to get to. But you know what? That's how it is for most people. So many people are forced into retirement. A lot of people think they're going to work until they're 70, but they're forced into retirement in their 50s and 60s. And a lot of times that's for health reasons. It's because they get laid off. A lot of us that are older are the first to get laid off. It's harder for us to get hired. There is ageism. And then those of us who own businesses, like keeping up with the technology and stuff and the changes can also be hard, because as you get older and you've learned to do things, like my husband still hand measures roofs, but a lot of these younger salesmen never get on a roof at all. My husband still does all his own repairs. A lot of these people that own these roofing companies, they contract out the repairs. So if something goes wrong, they're always dependent on getting someone else to do that. They'll use GPS to look at a roof. We do that sometimes on certain roofs. But they have all these apps on their phones and drones and things like that. And, my husband's just not wanting to learn all that technology right here in the last few years when what he's doing does work. And, it's not, we have very low overhead. And all of that stuff keeps overhead really high. And honestly, we fare well when roofing companies are going out of business. Roofing suppliers are laying off people left and right in our field right now. So the one thing you don't want to happen is the last year before you retire, things to get laid off, to have health problems, to have a really slow year if you own a business. But that's just the facts of life sometimes. And I told him today, honey, you could quit. I mean, we could close the business at any time. But we have a family member. We actually have 3 family members in the business. And we'll either turn our roofing over to them and my husband will stay on as a consultant, or we have a son-in-law who wants to take over the business. He has worked for us before as a salesman, and we will stay on as consultants and help with that to make sure that everything is done. He's a good person. He's honest, and we'll turn our crews over to him and everything. So he'll have the same crews and everything that we have, and we'll teach him the ropes. But that's where we are. It's just kind of boring. And, I've been sick a lot this year with my autoimmune. And so it's been like, do I want to come on and tell them like, well, I'm sick. We're not busy. We're just kind of doing life. And we're doing like 5 to 6 roofs a month, where we were doing 40 last year. And we're just kind of kicking the can down the road. My mom is supposed to be moving into our Airbnb, so we'll be closing the Airbnb if in fact that happens. Yeah, that's life. We were supposed to go to Colorado this week to see family, and my daughter-in-law got sick, and so we're not going to be able to go. I'm really bummed about that, but I'm also very sad that she's sick and want her to get better. But we're just over here living life, just doing the things you do every day. So I hope that you all are well, and but we have made up our mind that 10 months from now we are retiring, and we are going to turn everything over, and we will have a referral based income plus our income from Social Security, and from income from CD and savings, and income from pension. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.